Hello, I am going to give a demonstration on loading the RadRunner 1 bike onto our Hollywood 2021 bike rack. I found a few other videos that were a little helpful, but I want to be more specific about the placement. So we're going to start off, and first of all, I guess I do have to give credit that it was my son and daughter-in-law who actually assembled this for us, and my wife and I, and then also helped assemble the last part of this RadRunner 1 for us. So I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of a person who really doesn't have a lot of expertise, but it may be helpful if this is your first time and don't have a lot of experience like I did not, that I learned a few tricks taking a trip and putting them on and taking them off. So here's the thing. We start off first of all with the fact that we want to lower our bike rack after we've had this on for a while. And the first thing is to take this safety pin out, and then it is you kind of move this a little, pull it out, and it comes down and it clicks in. Now the first thing that I do is put the safety pin back in so that I do not forget that. And that safety pin, with a little bit of lifting and adjusting, goes right in, and then the pin snaps right on as well. So first thing that I learned is to keep this down for the loading of the first bike, and also we're going to show you a couple of tricks because this is a very stiff strap that straps on the wheels, and it's kind of important to know how to utilize these with that condition. So first of all, getting them out of the way, I'm going to take the first bike and going to put it on. And of course, this is with one person loading the bike. And it can be done with one person. In fact, I encourage you to not have two persons lifting at the same time, because you get a little bit better leverage when one of the wheels is down. So I lift this on into the far bike rack wheel placement, and of course I'm going to have to make sure that these are in the appropriate place. Now notice when I lift up the bike to put this last part in, that I'm going to, after I get over it, I'm going to put the kickstand down, because otherwise it will not set steady on this rack. So I place it up and I put this down and I place it down. Now before I get to the next step of having to I adjusted this so that it's out of the way of this bar. Before I try to put on these straps, I'm going to tell you that I learned that these are so stiff that you don't want it to interfere with your derailleur, so I lift it up and then put it through, and that makes it a lot easier. Tried it before without doing that, and of course then you just place the strap into the receiver and push, and it clicks in. Same with the thing. Now, of course, it can be helpful if you have another person to hold it, but sometimes, like now, it's steady that I don't need another person. And now I'm placing the next rack on, or the strap on to the rack, and clicking it through, and it will then secure the wheels of the bike. Now, the next step is to bring the bar up afterwards. And as you notice, it's helpful to have the bar down on the first bike. So then I take out the safety pin, and the safety pin, if you have it down, it comes in and out, or excuse me, when it's up, it goes in and out very well. And then when you're locking it, I'll show you, it goes down. So I pull this out and lift this up. Now I place the pin again with this up, and you just kind of adjust it a little bit, and you notice there's a little groove that goes in right there, and there we go, and then place it down. Now it's locked. Okay, so the second bike is going to go on in a reverse manner, so as to give your wheels and your pedals the ability to attach them. And I'm going to bring this bike around. Don't forget, here's the other important attachment. this is the adapter bars that is needed here, and I purchased these also through Rad Power Bikes on their accessories. And what I've discovered is it's easiest to do the first one on the seat, and then, especially if you have locks or anything on it, and then placing the second one around, and I notice it slides back and forth to adjust, and then you click that on. So now you have that attachment.
Big and little.
Yes. So this is the bigger loop and the smaller loop right here as well. Okay. So then on this one, I'm going to go ahead and do this before I put it on. That's, again, little things that you kind of learn, and each person will have their own ways of doing things. And I am putting that on, clicking it in, and lifting this up, this attachment. Again, very easy to utilize, and this allows the lock system on the rack to be utilized here with this particular bar. So now I'm going to also have this first bar, and this is the long neck compared to the shorter neck. The first one, the longer one, goes on first because it's going to go down lower. And what you do is you then push this button, slide it down. They tell you not to press it down too tight because it can jam. So you want to just go down and barely touch that, and you can see that it's locked. And when I lock this and putting the key in, it will then be, no one is able to lift this up and to take the bicycle. So it's a great safety mechanism. Now, next bike is going to go on, as you notice, in the opposite direction. And I lift not from the bar here. You've got to be careful not to try to use that as a leverage, but rather just lifting up, placing it in, and going now to the back. And remembering that when you have it up, you want to push your kickstand down, and that allows it to settle in better as well. Now also, what's important is to not put this on yet until I get this strap through, because these straps are very, very stiff, and it can be a problem trying to get it through to your. Oh, I just realized that sometimes you have to put it in a different location. There we go. And then sliding it through as well. So pretty much set with that, except now I'm going to do the final lock on this. And again, that I'm being told that I forgot a strap, and that's why it's important to see a video like this, because there's little steps that are a part of doing this in a manner that that you realize that it's a very easy process. It's just not forgetting the various steps, such as putting in these final straps as well. So then, as I said, putting on this particular lock facing outward towards the bar and placing it on, pushing the button so that it slides down, and coming to rest gently on the bar. Now it is in place, and now also I'm not going to have the key right now, but with a key you can lock this. In fact, I do happen to have the keys right here, so let me show you that right now it's up and down, the key, and I turn it once. Let's see if I have it. It must have been, okay. Oh, turning this direction, and the same with this one, turning it this direction. And again, little things that happen, but now this cannot be pushed, the button cannot be pushed to be lifted up, so you have your bike secure. Now, I happen to take one further step. I have one of my old, stronger bikes, and just as a precaution, I am going ahead and running through a lock in the frame of both of the bikes And I'm going around the bar again, and then through the frame, and placing this in a manner, and then locking this bike. So I have this extra precaution as well. Now I hope this is helpful to you.
No battery.
Okay, notice, yes, I was just reminded by my director and producer here of this video that I had taken the batteries off. They do recommend that you do not travel with your batteries on. They're easy to take on and off, as I think you maybe have experienced. Once you do is you key and unlock it, and then it just slips out and comes out very easily to put on and off. So they do recommend traveling without your battery. So notice the battery is gone. So I'm hoping that this is helpful for you, as we found it to be quite easy. The more often you do it, you remember every little step. But I think that one of the most important things that I learned on my last trip was of lifting this bike up to get this strap in without putting potential damage to the frame and the chain and the derailleur. So I'm hoping again that you enjoy it. Thank you very much, and good travels to you.